Airbnb party houses. Why do I do it and how do I do it? We'll talk about it in this video. So first of all, what is an Airbnb party house? I want to change the name from party house to event house because party house has a really bad rap and it should for a reason. So I'm kind of adjusting over to an event house. But basically a party house is a spot in town that's cool enough, that's unique enough, and it's in a decent enough location that people that even live in the city rent it out for events that they don't want to throw at their own house because it's either not big enough or they don't want to have the risk of things getting broken or pissing off their neighbors. So instead they want to piss off your neighbors as an Airbnb host. That is basically what a party house is. If you're seeing that a lot of the people that are booking it out are on their profile from your same city, then that's a good indicator. So what is an event house? So an event house is basically a party house, but instead of legit just having people come over for parties, you're having them come over for events. So such as like dinner parties, bridal showers, baby showers. There has a bunch of stuff that has to do with weddings and birthdays and all sorts of stuff like that. So in those cases, they're typically a lot more respectful of your space and they don't have an absurd amount of people. In my biggest property, it normally is kind of empty looking, around 20 people. So anything after 30 people is when you start seeing a little bit of some damage to the property and you start seeing my neighbors getting a little upset. So it has all this kind of added risk and angst and stress and it puts a lot of pressure on my neighborhood and my neighbors. Then why do I do it? Why don't I just stick to something a lot easier and a lot more calm than the event houses? Well, the reason why is because there's a lot more money to be made in it. And so say for instance on my other house, before I started having events there and I started promoting it as an event house, I was making around $3,000 or so a month, maybe $2,500 to $3,000. Once I started having events there, then it boosted to like $3,500, even $4,000 a month. On this other house, then I realized that if I were just to rent out base, I can make around $4,000 or $5,000 a month. But now that I have those big old parties, I bring in an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month just off of those extra heads alone. Now, what do you mean by extra heads, you might be asking? And that is because I charge per additional person after 16. So that's why I personally do it, is because that extra charge. And so you have that base price, the $200 I like to charge, or $250 during the weekday, and like $700 on the weekends. So that covers 16 people. Then after that, before it used to be $25 per person after that for eternity. Now, because of all the issue I started having with like these larger 60, 70 person parties that were legit just ragers, is that I started changing that up a little bit. So I'm able to protect myself a little bit more than before is now I decided to start putting it to where it's $25 per person over 16 up to a certain amount. And so after 50, then it's going to be $50 per person after that. And so if they want to have a massive rager, sure, go ahead, but they're going to have to be charged a lot. And if they don't tell me about it until after they arrive, then it's going to be double whatever it is. So if every person that shows up past what they told me it was $25, now it's $50. Every person was supposed to be $50 after a certain amount, now it's going to be $100. So you get really, really expensive for them, and they have to ask themselves, is this something I really want to do? And if it's anything less than 50 people, I can handle it. My neighbors can handle it. It's fine. Anything after 50 people, the reason why I do this is because that's whenever it always ends up a little dicey. And also, like I've mentioned in other videos, there is an added risk to this. So you do have Airbnb is cracking down on party houses, so you got to make sure to have all the things in order. That way Airbnb can see that you've done your best to try to limit the amount of people that can show up and cause damage to your property and the surrounding neighborhood. And also neighbors just don't like it, like I mentioned earlier. And so you have to tackle that before it becomes an issue. So make sure to reach out to your neighbors, make sure they have your information, your phone number. If you want, every time there's a holiday, you just drop off like a package of some kind of like present, like Christmas is coming up. And so I could drop that off and then give them like a little gift card or something like that that they might enjoy. You just really gotta farm and make sure to keep watering your neighbors to make sure they're happy, or else they'll go rotten. A super important tip before we go on is if you do not like, subscribe, and share this stuff, then you will get fined by the local governments. It's true. I don't know how it works, but like I will call the cops, I'll have my friends call the cops, all sorts of stuff. So just I don't want to do it, you don't want it to happen. So just let's avoid all this and just go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, share, and then watch this on all your accounts, all of them, all the way to the end. You don't want me to call the cops on you. Lastly, like I've also mentioned in other videos, is that I just like having a big badass house for me to throw my own parties at. Like I have a party coming up for Christmas on the 19th, which if you guys are watching and my subscribers, feel free to join. And it's like a big onesie party. We're gonna have like little baby goats, and we're gonna have Christmas trees and presents, and I have this massive table that I get to have a big feast at with 12 tables. And I normally wouldn't have any option to do this. Like there's no reason for me as a single guy to have a big house like that for any purposes other than Airbnb. Even if I had a really awesome apartment complex, I wouldn't have a massive table, 2 stories, big backyard. It just seems like an awful waste of space for one guy to own a house like that. But now that I have an Airbnb that I'm making money off of, I can make this house as ridiculous as possible and then make money from it. I was even thinking about possibly throwing in like a fireman's pole in it. Why? That wouldn't make any sense at all. But now it's on an Airbnb, it's like, I bet people would like a fireman's pole. It starts making you think about all this weird stuff that you normally wouldn't do, but now you can do and you get paid to do it. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do it now. And then check out this video. Or YouTube thinks that you like it. And then this is the playlist for you to learn about how to be an Airbnb investor. And if you guys don't have me on Instagram, it's Sean Ray Realty. I want to see you on there, and like and comment and do all the DMs and all that stuff. All right, see you guys.